Police Federation renews call for government to provide 100% health insurance coverage for rank-and-file members. The Jamaica Police Federation is renewing its call for the government to provide 100% health insurance coverage and other welfare benefits for rank-and-file members. The call was made by a member of the Federation's Central Committee, Detective Corporal Peter G. Williams, at the Thanksgiving service for Sergeant Christopher Gordon. Sergeant Gordon, who was attached to the Halfway 3 police station, died on May 22nd. It was reported that he fell ill while on duty and was transported to hospital where he died. In a tribute, Corporal Williams said law enforcers are faced with many challenges, some of which appear to have no end. She also encouraged police officers to take care of themselves. She said he was a dependable, reliable, and committed police officer who dedicated over 21 years to the country.
The task we execute on a daily basis as police officers is an invaluable service that impacts every area of policing. On behalf of the Central Committee, we want to extend our gratitude to the leadership and team of the St. Andrews Central Division for the continued support for members' welfare. The Jamaica Police Federation continues to renew the call for our employer, the government of Jamaica, to provide 100% health insurance coverage and other welfare benefits for the rank-and-file members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Colleagues, as we mourn, I encourage us all that we have a duty of care for self. Self-care must be paramount at all times. Sergeant Gordon has left us with memories that will forever linger in the hearts of many. He served with dignity and pride and stood in line with our motto to serve, protect, and reassure. He held his head high despite the many different challenges he faced. He commanded respect, and hence he was respected. He was indeed a role model to many. Our hearts are heavy with grief and sadness because it is never easy to say goodbye to someone who meant so much to so many.
Technical challenges complicated ventilator access for newborns. It remains unclear how many ventilators are assigned to neonatal intensive care and pediatric units at public hospitals across the island following the death of a premature newborn 2 weeks ago and a subsequent Health Minister internal audit of the machines. Chief Medical Officer CMO Dr. Jacqueline Bisosa McKenzie indicated that it is difficult to give a specific number, noting that of the available machines, the figure changes daily. These equipment have to be checked on a daily basis and may come down for whatever reason, which may be short-term or maybe take a little while to get them back up, stated McKenzie, who was responding to questions on Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. Her response follows the death of a baby boy at Mappin Hospital in Clarendon on June 11. The baby had to be manual ventilated because he did not have access to a ventilator. On Wednesday, Television Jamaica reported that a mother was praying for help to save her 11-month-old baby girl's life as the infant was at the Mappin Hospital for 3 weeks without getting access to the much-needed ventilator. The ministry's audit revealed that there is only one ventilator at the hospital, which is used to transport patients between departments or other hospitals. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the infant was transferred to the University Hospital of the West Indies in St. Andrew for treatment. Tufton said the transfer was based on a need for more specialist care. Dr. Bisosa McKenzie further disclosed that there are currently 90 working ventilators in the public health system, down from 118 last week. Overall, 210 ventilators are registered in the system, and up to last week, 52 were obsolete. Depending on whether the ventilators are made specifically to a particular setting to deal with neonates or whether it's ventilators that can be used interchangeably among different age groups based on the connections and tubing that are there, these ventilators can move around. So to say specifically that we have 4 for neonatal versus specifically for adults, I could only say that, for example, in Victoria Jubilee Hospital, where those ventilators are specifically used only in the NICU, the CMOC, referring to the neonatal intensive care unit. A source has indicated that there has been a challenge sourcing connections for ventilators that are to be used for babies. The source, a medical doctor, said while the ventilator is generic, the connections for children are specific. They have to be having great difficulty sourcing the disposables, his source stated. However, on Wednesday, Tufton said mischief is at a play as it relates to the ventilators and questions about the numbers. He reiterated that a ventilator by itself serves no purpose unless supported by a team. He said pre-COVID, Jamaica public health system had 35 ventilators. He said the system now have over 100 at least active. So one could be very simplistic and say we have 200 to 300% more ventilators than we had pre versus post-COVID. That still does not explain its distribution, its usage, the technical requirements for them to be used, stated Tufton. Given that sometimes the public and those who question these issues are more interested in whether or not the system is being served with more as opposed to less, I just want to clarify that we have had 300% more ventilators than we had pre-COVID, he added. Opposition disappointed with updates on the nation's cultural economy. Opposition spokesperson on culture, Dr. Garden, has expressed disappointment with the recent update on the nation's cultural economy provided by Culture Minister Oliver Grange. Dr. Garden noted that during the minister's sectoral debate presentation on Tuesday, there was a significant absence of a comprehensive framework for advancing the country's cultural economy. She emphasized that the minister's presentation failed to address basic requirements essential for the modern development of the cultural economy.
I was quite disappointed with the absence of clear plans, policies, legislation, or even a comprehensive framework within the minister's presentation. I had expected an update or structured timelines for cultural economy development in this her eighth annual debate since taking office. What was presented by the minister seems to have been an arbitrary and vague list of projects and programs. This falls short of a strategic plan to centralize the cultural economy in Jamaica's national development agenda. The most basic requirements for modern cultural economy development seem to have been ignored. Many countries now focus on two things: sustainable economic growth on the one hand through wealth and job creation, as well as a clear, sustainable culture and development mandate in planning their cultural economies. Both were glaringly absent from this year's sectoral update. It was a missed opportunity for Jamaica.
Speaker signals imminent tabling of IC report despite previous ruling. In an apparent reversal of her November 2023 ruling, House Speaker Julie Tones has signaled that the Integrity Commission's IC 2023-2024 annual report will be tabled next Tuesday in accordance with established procedures and protocol. A Chair's media release from Parliament on Thursday said the Houses of Parliament had received copies of the report. On November 7, 2023, Holness ruled that the annual and special reports from the anti-corruption body would go to its Oversight Committee for deliberation before being tabled. Commenting on annual report submitted under Section 36(2) of the Integrity Commissions Act, the Speaker said, once the report is submitted to Parliament, it will be sent to the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee for consideration and report. Once the committee has completed its deliberations, both the reports of the committee and the relevant report from the Integrity Commission will be tabled thereafter. Principal Director of National Integrity Action, Daniel Archer, told reporters that she was pleased that the annual report is to be tabled on the first sitting of Parliament after being submitted. We hope that this will apply to all reports from the IG, she added. Archer argued that the return of tabling IG annual reports in line with long-standing parliamentary practice was a response to a justifiable public outcry to the infamous ruling of the House Speaker. She commended citizens of goodwill and members of the civil society organizations who spoke out against the controversial ruling by the Speaker and insisted that the long-standing practice of tabling IG reports promptly be restored. The restoration of this practice encourages our citizens to speak out when there is a perceived wrong in the conduct of our authorities, Archer noted. In March, House Speaker Juliet Holness yielded to unrelenting calls from members of civil society and the parliamentary opposition and tabling of two reports on the Auditor General that Parliament held for more than 2 months. Prior to their tabling, the Speaker had returned the Auditor General's department reports, following which the Auditor General sent them back to Parliament. In April, the Speaker laid on the table of the House of the Attorney General's opinion on the tabling of reports from the Integrity Commission and Auditor General's Department following months of wrangling. Archer argued that it was extremely disappointing to realize that the opinion of the Attorney General contradicting the heinous degree of the House Speaker was available to her over a prolonged period, during which time a long-standing public servant was publicly reprimanded for allegedly not complying with a flooded directive. A retraction of the public reprimand is warranted on the facts and actions now in the public domain, Archer stated. Former Clerk of Houses Valerie Curtis was accused of gross dereliction of duty by the Speaker. However, Curtis dismissed the claim, calling for a public apology from the Speaker. To date, the Speaker has not tendered a public apology to Curtis. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.